Hey guys, welcome back to the excavation of Hobbs Barrow. Well, we are about to meet, I think, the witch. She's called Mother Mildred or something like that. And I suppose everything is
I shan't
okay.
be visiting the badgers again. I was lucky to escape intact.
Yeah, we were indeed lucky. Is there anything new going on here? No, it's not. So now we can... Aha, there is also resin here.
Resin has been oozing from the stump. It looks set now.
Mm-hmm.
The resin has set somewhat. It's firmly gripped to the stump.
So maybe we can use the chisel?
I've collected some waxy resin.
Okay, cool. Cool. What is it good for, though?
No, that won't achieve anything useful. I can't see how... No. I'm not... No. No. I can't... No. I'm not sure.
Okay, so the resin is not for that. What happens if we right-click
I've
it?
collected this lump of waxy resin.
Okay, waxy resin. But we have it. That's the important part. Aha, there is Mother Mildred apparently. What is going on here?
They look somewhat like juniper berries. What are those berries you're picking?
An ancient breed, no good for eating. However, they do have some medicinal qualities.
I see.
Interesting.
The cottage is nestled cosily in the woods. I shouldn't enter uninvited.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so let's...
It's the old woman I saw at Bewley Station.
Ah, that's the same woman. Okay, let's
Please,
talk.
forgive my intrusion. Are you Mother Mildred?
Some call me that. I prefer Mildred Walker, given as that's my name.
Apologies. Thomasina Bateman. I think we met at Bewley Station.
I take it Panswick's men have cleared off. Good riddance. Those ruffians would cut their own noses off if he asked them to. I recognised you the moment I laid eyes on you at the station.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, yeah, it's quite a striking family resemblance. You have your father's eyes, Miss Bateman.
You knew my father?
Such piercing blue eyes he had. What a handsome young man. William.
He was here, in Bewley.
Oh, yes. A long time ago, mind.
Family
25
connection.
years by my reckoning. But I'll never forget those eyes.
Let's keep talking about her father.
Why was my father in Bewley?
You were helping Samuel Brydon excavate Hobbs Barrow.
You must be jesting.
Do I look like I'm jesting?
How did you come to meet my father?
One might say I have a reputation in these parts. Folks from all around come to me for help with their ailments. Hernwood is abundant with flora that, if mixed correctly, will cure almost any ill. Your father must have caught wind of this, as one day he came to me, asking for a cure.
A cure for what?
Your mother were with child, and she was suffering the most terrible nausea.
Adam.
I made something to help her.
The journal. This was entered in the journal. It belongs to my father.
What journal?
Take a look at this. A passage recalls meeting a local wise woman to seek a tincture for his beloved's nausea gravidarum.
Aye, that's me. I made the tincture for him.
This is incredible.
You don't recognise your own father's handwriting?
It's been so many years since I've seen it. What do you make of this stone?
I-A-W. I haven't a clue. Perhaps it's an old folk trinket, or a talisman of some kind. The moors are steeped in folklore.
What can you tell me about the excavation?
Well, not much. I only met your father twice. The last time he asked me if I knew anything about binding magic.
Binding magic.
He said he needed it for the excavation.
Hogwash. My father is a man of logic and reason. Why would he be asking about such nonsense?
Perhaps you don't know him as well as you think you do. Anyway, I know nothing of magic and told him so. He seemed disappointed. I never saw him again, but I understand the excavation went ahead. Samuel Brydon hanged himself not long after. Reason enough for you to stay well clear of that place.
You never saw my father again after the excavation?
No, I always assumed he just went home.
Who excavated Hobbs Barrow alongside Samuel Brydon and my father?
From memory, it were just the two of them.
Interesting.
What do you think my father meant by binding magic?
I've no idea. He didn't explain more, and I didn't wish to pry.
This just doesn't sound like my father at all.
You'll have to ask him yourself.
I'm afraid my father has been incapacitated since I was a child. He cannot speak nor move.
Terrible. Oh, I'm sorry.
You said that the flora here could cure almost any ill.
Almost, my dear. But your father's affliction sounds beyond my abilities.
The landlord of the Plough and Furrow told me about a folk tale associated with Hobbs Barrow. Something about a goblin. Are you familiar with it?
No doubt there is such a tale. Name any beastie you can think of, and someone round here will have a story about it.
My thoughts precisely.
The third man.
Charles Brydon mentioned there was a third man involved in the excavation.
Is that so? Well, you'd best ask him about it. He knows more than I do.
Can you tell me anything about Leonard Shoulder?
I know of him, as is the nature of such a small town. I also know he invited you here.
Little escapes you, Miss Walker.
So they say. My path rarely crosses with his. Let's put it that way. But he's a nice enough fellow.
I see. Do you know Lord Panswick?
I know his labourers make a mess of these woods, the brutes. The man himself hasn't graced me with his presence.
You've never met him?
Not since he were a wee lad. A maid brought him to me with a sore stomach. It were all the rich food they were feeding him, nowt more.
Thank you for your help, Miss Walker. I have nothing else to ask. I shouldn't enter.
Okay, so... Do you know about
I'm
this?
sure they would be interested.
I don't think that you
I don't
are...
think anyone really wants...
Yeah... So...
I'm not sure they would be interested.
The glove, maybe?
I don't wish to give...
The stone, we
I've
already...
already shown her that.
Yeah, true. The journal
I've
also...
already shown her.
Yeah, okay, so I suppose we're done here.
Miss Bateman,
Yes.
remember what I told you when we first met? You're better off waiting for the next train back to the city.
Why?
Something terrible happened to Samuel Brydon in that barrow. Whatever they found down there, I'd wager it got to your father too. Tell me you won't disturb Hobbs Barrow.
I can't make that promise, Mildred.
Can't say I didn't warn you. There is something unnatural about that place.
We must seek to understand the world by rational means, Miss Walker. One cannot abandon reason.
Well, I guess that's true.
Thomasina! Thomasina, come here this instant.
I'm playing with Josephine.
She can wait. This is very important.
Alright.
I'll be back soon, Josephine. I'll be back soon. Hello.
Okay, the statue is quite curious, but apparently we can't do anything with it.
What is it, Mummy?
It's your father.
Daddy's home?
No, my dear. I must go to Bakewell with haste. Miss Bowes will look after you whilst I'm gone. Is that clear?
Where's Daddy?
He's had an accident.
What happened?
He's come off his horse.
Silly Daddy. Will he be all right?
Of course he will be fine. Your father is as strong as an ox, but I need to go collect him, all right?
Can't I come too?
No, dear. Miss Bowes will look after you.
But I want to come.
Go pick up your dolls, then come inside, all right?
Yes, Mummy.
Alright, so let's go pick up Josephine.
Josephine, it's time to go inside now.
And there's Miss
Where
Bowes.
did Mommy go?
And that's it already. Okay. So I suppose we're just supposed to keep going.
I shan't be visiting the badgers again.
Okay, if you say so.
I helped him then, and I can help him again.
I shan't be...
It's really strange. Really, really strange. Oh, there's Arthur again. So let's talk to Arthur.
Arthur, you won't believe it. The journal belongs to my father. He was here in Bewley. Arthur? Hello?
Oh, sorry. I'm trying to remember something.
What is it?
I'm not sure. Something in the woods. It will come back to me. You say your father were in Bewley?
Yes! Mildred said that he helped Samuel Brydon excavate Hobbs Barrow 25 years ago.
Well, I'll be. Let's talk about it tonight at the plough.
Arthur, I must tell you about the dream I had. I was at Hobbs Barrow and there was a creature. It told me it saved my father from something inside and that I would find proof of this in the morning. Sure enough, when I awoke, the journal was in my room. Mildred confirmed the journal belonged to my father. The creature told me it could help my father again. I mean, it was merely a dream. I don't know what to think anymore. Arthur? Arthur, are you listening?
What's wrong with
Fine
him?
then, we'll talk later. I hope you piece together your memories.
What's going
I'll
on?
leave him be for now.
That's really strange. What's going on? Okay, whatever. Alright, so if we go up here, we'll just see James again.
Good day, James.
My dear.
How is your painting coming along?
Quite well, but it needs more work. I'm aching to show you, but I must restrain myself.
Goodbye.
See you soon, my dear.
Alright then, I suppose... Just a second, can we do this?
No,
Okay. So, where do we want to go? I suppose we want to go towards the church. And then we want to head... explore. Convince Mr. Byrd to allow the excavation. I suppose that's what we're supposed to do. Oh.
Hello?
Okay, we are going to follow her.
William Paxton. Modest and...
Nope, we want to go here. Oh!
Excuse me, sir.
Who are you?
Did you see a young girl with blonde hair pass by here?
No, lass. Here you are. Are you Thomasina Bateman?
Tell the truth.
That's my name.
How marvellous. It's me, Leonard Shoulder.
What?
Heavens. I'd given up on finding you.
Please take a seat, Miss Bateman. We have much to discuss.
Where have you been, my friend?
You've proven to be quite the enigma, Mr. Shoulder.
I'm mortified. I offer you 1,000 apologies. You see, I've been bound to me bed these past few days with a terrible fever.
How dreadful. I take it you're feeling better now?
Aye. I were on me way to find you when I stopped here to catch me breath. I've not much go in me these days.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I were worried you'd have given up on me and left town.
I had no idea what had become of you, Mr. Shoulder. I spent a good amount of time pounding on your front door.
I'm embarrassed, I really am. I've been doing my best to sleep through the fever. I am so very sorry. Please accept my apology, Miss Bateman.
Fine, Mr. Shoulder. I've come all this way. Let us speak of the business at hand.
Marvellous.
I've just learned that my father was part of a previous excavation of Hobbs Barrow some 25 years ago. Why didn't you mention this in your letter?
What? Where did you hear that?
I have my means.
I swear, Miss Bateman, I had no idea.
I take it you will also deny delivering me my father's journal?
I'm confused. What journal?
My father's journal was slipped under my door at the Plough and Furrow. It wasn't you who did this?
I've been bound to me bed, lass. What an extraordinary coincidence. You are following in your father's footsteps.
It would seem so, Mr. Shoulder.
That's... Okay, let's just talk. I don't wanna... I feel like I can't really trust him. But, okay, let's just talk and see where things lead.
Why did you invite me to excavate Hobbs Barrow?
I've always been curious about the colourful folklore surrounding the place. My father told me all sorts of stories about it when I were a wee fellow. Stories that some folk around here take a little too seriously. Especially after those lads entered the barrow a while back.
How did you know about me?
I saw your interview in the Bakewell Times. A young lady travelling about the land, digging up barrows. Perfect for the job.
But why do you wish to excavate the barrow?
I want to see what those lads found in there. My curiosity has grown over the years. Now it is time for the mystery to be solved.
I must say I am rather eager to find out what's in there myself. I've managed to find Hobbs Barrow, but Mr. Brydon is yet to give me permission to excavate.
Is that so? Keep trying. You'll relent eventually.
Perhaps you could have a word with him.
Oh, no. A lovely young lass such as yourself has a better chance of changing his mind than a shaky old goat like me.
You told me in your letter there would be no issue gaining access to the barrow.
I didn't foresee any when I wrote to you. I'm sorry this has been more complicated than anticipated. Don't give up yet, Miss Bateman. Keep trying with Mr. Brydon.
Did you know my father?
I don't believe so. What's his name?
William Bateman. He was in Bewley for at least a few days, from my understanding.
I'm sorry, lass. The name doesn't ring a bell.
Are you sure you had no idea of my father's involvement in the previous excavation?
I'm quite sure. A most fascinating coincidence, but nothing more than that.
I'm starting to wonder if it's more than mere coincidence, Mr. Shoulder.
Miss Bateman, I did not take you for a credulous individual.
I'm none of the sort. What can you tell me about the previous excavation of Hobbs Barrow?
Oh, it were 25 years ago, or thereabout. Back then, Bewley were undergoing a period of great strife. Samuel Brydon hadn't harvested a single crop for 2 seasons. Even Hernwood was sick. Berries went to rot almost as quickly as they grew. Folks started to believe the ground were blighted. Disease spread through the livestock too. People were going hungry, a panic set in.
That sounds terrible.
Aye, but I managed to keep myself fed. These things happen in nature, but the blame for it all fell on Hobbs Barrow. It was long said that a goblin made his home there. A rumour took root that the goblin were not best pleased with the villagers. In revenge for some unperceived slight, the goblin placed a curse on the soil itself. The villagers believed that ridding the barrow of its lodger would put an end to it all.
Hogwash. My father would have paid no heed to such tales.
Whether it were his intent to join the excavation when coming here, I do not know. But whatever it were that Samuel Brydon and those lads did inside that barrow, people say it did the trick. The crop started to grow back, and health returned to the livestock. Bewley were no longer in the grip of dark forces. You must understand, folk here are a superstitious lot. They don't want you disturbing whatever it were those lads did. As far as the villagers are concerned, the problem were fixed. The thought of another excavation must be conjuring panic that you'll undo whatever it were they did.
This does explain a lot.
And it's also why I'd venture nobody around here wants you to touch the place.
Except for you.
I want to know what's there.
Surely you don't believe these tales of goblins and curses to be true?
Not at all. However, I suspect those lads did find something in the barrow. But did it have any connection to failing crops and dying livestock? No. I can assure you there's nothing to fear. Coincidence reigns supreme.
So what do you think they found?
That is for us to discover, Miss Bateman.
Who was the third man who joined my father and Mr. Brydon on the excavation?
I'm afraid I don't know. Although I'd heard about the excavation and I were intrigued by it, I mostly stayed at home during that time. The atmosphere in the village was rather too tense for me liking. And besides, the excavation were undertaken with an air of mystery about it.
I still don't know if I can trust you, but, well, let's keep listening to
Tell
you.
me more of this folklore you mention.
It is said that Hobbs Barrow is home to a goblin. Everyone in Bewley has some version or another of this story. But the version my father told me as a child described the barrow as a thin place. The goblin were deemed to be the guardian of this so-called thin place.
Goblin,
Tell me more about this goblin.
Some said he were a mischievous little mite, snatching newborn lambs and smashing windows with pebbles. Others said he were friendly, there to lend a helping hand in times of strife. The latter of which makes it all the more surprising as to why the previous excavation took place. My father's stories put the goblin in the mischievous category. Saxnot, he called the creature. I recall one such anecdote, that Saxnot entered Bewley and ordered a pair of boots to be made by the cobbler. However, when collecting them, he insisted on paying for them with a bag of sow's teeth. The cobbler was so scared of angering the goblin that he accepted.
A colourful tale indeed, Mr. Shoulder. Has any explanation been offered for why this Saxnot cursed the soil?
Your guess is as good as mine, lass.
What is a thin place?
A place where one can walk between worlds, where the flesh meets the spirit world. Just superstition, of course, as you well know.
I had a peculiar dream last night. I met a creature at Hobbs Barrow. I suppose you might say it was a goblin. It told me it had saved my father from trouble inside Hobbs Barrow. I'll admit the coincidence of this is somewhat astounding.
A remarkable coincidence, but nothing more than that.
But there is still one thing that puzzles me. The goblin told me proof of its claims would await me in the morning. Surely enough, I awoke to find that my father's journal had appeared in my room.
Very queer indeed.
Mr. Shoulder, you invited me here, to a town I'd never heard of, only for me to discover that my own father was here 25 years before. And not only that, but that he was also embroiled in some sort of superstitious hysteria which goes against everything he ever taught me. Something is wrong here. This must be more than mere coincidence.
It's strange, I'll give you that. But please remember who you are, Miss Bateman.
This is my father's journal.
Incredible. Can I look inside?
You may.
Look at these drawings. Wonder what it all means.
You and I both. It all feels very out of character for my father.
I'm sure you'll find the answers beneath the soil, Miss Bateman.
What do you make of this strange stone?
A carving of a cockerel?
Yes, it was strapped to my father's journal. Do you think it could have something to do with the previous excavation?
Possibly, though I'm not aware of the motif having any meaning around these parts.
Is this your glove?
I've been looking all over for that. Where did you find it?
In the alley behind the plough and furrow on the night of my arrival. Were you there?
As I say, I've been bedbound for several days, Miss Bateman.
How odd.
Can I please have it back?
Here.
Thank you. We're peas of the same pod, Miss Bateman. I knew you wouldn't be frightened by a few old stories. It will be interesting to see what those lads found in there.
Certainly.
Thank you so very much for responding to my letter and for coming here. We have some great discoveries to make, you and I.
I sincerely hope so.
And a chance to follow in your father's footsteps. Right, time for me to shift these old bones. I'm to take me a spot of the plough and furrow. I'll be there all night should you need me assistance.
Thank you, Mr. Shoulder.
I'm sorry again for giving you the runaround. I promise I am not beyond redemption. I won't let you down again. See you soon.
I was starting to wonder if Mr. Shoulder even existed.
Very, very strange. The mystery man revealed. Mr. Shoulder has shown himself. Well, guys, I'm really sorry, but we have hit the end of the episode mark. So, if you want to know what this mystery is all about, you'll have to tune in next time for the excavation of Hobbs Barrow. See you then.